That's right, we are back. The Football 101. I am your host, the Beetle. Yes, I am back. We are back. Football 101 is officially back, and this is a breakdown of the New York Jets. That's right, breakdown of the New York Jets by the Beetle. That's right, you know me by now. Former defensive back, former wide receiver. Yes, back in the day, 74, 75, playing for Xenia, Ohio, and then walking on at Miami, Ohio, of Miami Redhawks of Ohio. And bringing the pain, the attitude, being the smallest player on the field, always bring the pain. What you talking about? That's what I bring, old school mentality. And I'm going to bring the old school mentality. And yes, I'm older than Aaron Rodgers. What else is new? He's been in the league for quite some time. This will be his, 19th year? From California. Oh lordy. But let me just go back. Let me give a shout out to the team, the New York Jets organization, #New York Jets. And let me give a shout out to the Boomer and Geo show. The Boomer and Geo show featuring former New York Jet quarterback and Cincinnati Bengal quarterback Boomer Esiason. That's right, Boomer Esiason, breaking down the knowledge, getting the key interviews of the New York Jets players. And one interview that I saw, and several, how many more interviews can you do, Aaron Rodgers? But rightly so. I saw the interview during training camp with Aaron Rodgers. And wow, that was a great. Again, Boomer is such a class veteran, asking just the right questions to Aaron Rodgers. The guy Gio seemed like he was completely lost, intimidated by Aaron Rodgers, but not Boomer Esiason. He knew exactly, knew exactly what type of questions to ask him. So I'm going to get to that in just a second. A quick shout out to their head coach, Robert Saleh. This is his 4th season. He's doing an effective job. I mean, you're in the New York media. It's a tough media. They're intense, but he seems a bit more comfortable in his role now, coming from San Francisco, now in his 4th year. Robert Saleh, and he mentions he's more satisfied with his defensive line group, and how several players are coming together. Let me do a quick shout out to one of the games that I watched with the New York Jets, the broadcast. Peter Schrager. Peter Schrager from Good Morning Football, doing the play-by-play for New York Jets. He was pretty hyped up. Doing the broadcast, and you can see my boy Peter Schrager is really branching out. I don't know how much longer he's going to be with Good Morning Football, because Good Morning Football is out in LA now, and Peter Schrager, he's a Jersey guy. He's from New York, and but he was doing the Jets play-by-play preseason games, and doing a very good job. The emotion is there, Peter Schrager. But let me get back to, again, head coach Robert Saleh, doing a great job with the New York Jets, trying to solidify more physicality of the New York Jets. And let me just give another shout out to One Jets Drive. They do a great production, a live show. And I also saw Kay Adams with Up with Adams show, and she interviewed Aaron Rodgers. I don't know what the deal is on that. Come on, Kay Adams. She's just enamored with Aaron Rodgers. I'm going to get to that, not to that situation, but to Aaron Rodgers, 19th year. As you know, last year he busted his Achilles on the very first game. And again, I'm going to tell you the truth. The Beetle I haven't been a fan of Aaron Rodgers for a long time, because When he was with Green Bay, he was just like the puppet master. The puppet master. the puppet master. Always pulling the strings. Always getting the extension. Always getting deals. Holding the Green Bay Packers as hostage over a number of years. And now, Aaron Rodgers have to prove himself. And he has a big chip on his shoulder. He's very knowledgeable. He's very it's highbrow, but he has to come down to earth, and he did come down to earth last year. But this year he seems a bit more relaxed. He wants to improve. He wants to show it. But Boomer, let me just say, Boomer Esiason called him out. And he said, "Man, I know what you're going through. You can't beat around the bush." He said, "I was in the exact same situation as you. Coming from the Cincinnati Bengals, going to the Super Bowl, going to a couple of Super Bowls, matter of fact, and then being let go by the Bengals, and then landing with the New York Jets because the Boomer is from East Coast. He's from Jersey and all that area, New York. He's East Coast." And he said, "I know exactly the pressure, the intensity, the media was overwhelming to him, and he handled it. But he said, I was never able to keep control of it by far." And he says, "I kind of know what you're going through. I hear what you're saying. You're trying to say all the right things, but I know what you're going through. You got to get acclimated to this New York media and the fanatics of the Jets, Jets, G-N-J-E-T-S, Jets." They're fanatical. And Aaron Rodgers is just trying to keep it all in, trying to still manipulate the media. And he's just not going to be able to do it because right now it's about performance. Okay, they gave him a year off because they say he rushed his performance. So now it's time to perform. And will he have the momentum to do that? Now, one of the things that caught my attention, he said, this is what Aaron Rodgers said. He said, "I'm building a better chemistry with their number one wide receiver, Garrett Wilson, superstar. Garrett Wilson, superstar wide receiver from the Ohio State University." Yeah, my boy Garrett Wilson. This will be his third year in the league. Also, wide receiver, they got Mike Williams. He was with from the Chargers for a number of years. And then they have tight end Tyler Conklin. And let me give a shout out again to my boy Lindsay Sports. This is where I'm reading from. This is where the other inside information I'm getting for the NFL. Lindsay Sports. But again, I hear that, again, what Aaron Rodgers said. He's trying to spend, and it was ridiculous. He's trying to spend more time with number one wide receiver, getting on page with Garrett Wilson. I don't understand that. If he's your number one, and he is a beast. Garrett Wilson is a beast. 6 feet 183. He's a beast. And very knowledgeable. Runs great routes. But you got to get on in timing. And Aaron Rodgers said he's just not in sync with Garrett Wilson. And matter of fact, during practices, they've been jawing back and forth. Now, Aaron just tried to play it off. He said, "Yeah, you see us kind of talking with a lot of emotion during practice, training camp." And Aaron was just saying, "We're just trying to get on the same page, the nuances." But Garrett Wilson, he's a perfectionist. I can tell you that right now. And he's not going to play second fiddle to Aaron Rodgers. Because he know Aaron Rodgers on his last leg. Garrett Wilson, I think he was kind of like chirping Aaron Rodgers said, come on, get up with my speed. That's the mentality I'm trying to tell you. Garrett Wilson trying to play, just trying to be diplomatic, but when you're in practice, when players are practicing, you got to realize today's athletes, today's players, they want to perfect their craft. No matter who is throwing the ball to them, no matter who they have to depend upon a block, they want to perfect their craft. And Garrett Wilson is a young wide receiver, but he's that elite wide receiver. And he wants to perfect his craft. That's the reason he said, this is how I'm going to run my routes. When I break out my route, the ball should be XYZ right here or right there. Okay, the nuances of a professional wide receiver running his route. And he was jawing it. He was jawing it with Aaron Rodgers in practice. I saw the video. He was jawing it. So that told me that Garrett Wilson, he wants perfection. He's asking for Aaron Rodgers to spend the extra time with him. Because this is how he runs his routes. He'll make some tweaks to his routes because of Aaron. But he's telling Aaron, get up to speed with me. I like that. So the puppet master is being coached up by Garrett Wilson. And when you have a superstar wide receiver like that, he can say a few things, and rightly so, because he did it last year without Aaron Rodgers, and he did it the year before without Aaron Rodgers. So now he's saying, okay, let's get on the same page and let's do this thing. Because he knows he wants the ball. He wants to rock. So I spent a little bit too much time on Aaron Rodgers, Garrett Wilson. But then they have in the backfield Breece Hall, running back, outstanding running back. He just got to get in the flow. Really got to get the ball more on a consistent basis. I like Breece Hall. He's a hard running. The Jets' bell cow is Breece Hall, who bounced back nicely last year coming off a 2022 knee injury. He's a big back with sub speed, 4.4 speed. So he's already a threat to break a long run. So you got Breece Hall in the backfield. He brings the pain, he brings the attitude. And they have another Israel, new rookie from Pittsburgh. He's been looking good in training camp. So again, they got some playmakers on offense. Not super duper playmakers, but they have playmakers on offense. With regards to the offensive line, let me give a little props to the offensive line. The Jets were focused like a laser on improving their offensive line this offseason, adding 3 starters, tackles Tyron Smith, Morgan Moses, and guard John Simpson. They also added one of the draft's best tackles in the first round, Penn State's Olu Fashunu, to give them insurance at tackle and an error apparent for Smith. So they really beefed up their offensive line. Excellent job. So Aaron Rodgers will get time in the pocket. Breece Hall will be able to run between the tackles with that type of solid offensive line. The Jets defense, the Jets lost their best edge rusher when Bryce Huff signed with the Philly Eagles. The Jets defense is a front-driven, so they need constant pressure to make it work. With Reddick and 2 first-round edge rushers, Jermaine Johnson and Will McDonald, to go along with the superb interior rusher, Quinnen. They are physical up front. They need to improve their interior run defense. Their linebackers, centerpiece of the corps, are Quincy Williams and C.J. Mosley. They're very good. Williams is undersized but a flinching tackler. Mosley is a great leader and solid run defender. The Jets are in good shape at cornerback with one of the NFL's best tandems on the outside. Sauce Gardner, the man that just loves New York City. He's a down-to-earth guy, really. He just went into a lot of pub. Mr. Cover Dude, Sauce Gardner, and DJ Reed. Now, let me just say, the first year I got on Sauce Gardner, and I eased up on Sauce Gardner after the second year because he does bring the coverage. Coming from Cincinnati, this will be his third year. He's learning more of his craft, and he's not as braggadocious as the first year. So he's coming back with a bit more veteran leadership. They have a solid secondary with DJ Reed Jr., cornerback, and then a safety, Chuck Clark, and then Tony Adams, the other safety. Clark is coming off a season ending an ACL tear in 2023 season. Versatile free agent addition Isaiah Oliver can back up every position in secondary. So they're solid in the secondary. It's just that their front line is physical. It's going to put pressure. They do put a lot of pressure on defense, on offensive. So that's a good thing. So, but they're not overly outstanding. They are above average defense, no doubt about that. And again, looking at how they're coached up by the Jets coaches, you have offensive coordinator Nathaniel Hackett. Again, I'm just gonna leave it like that. It coaches offense and Aaron Rodgers. I'm not a big fan of Nathaniel Hackett. He messed up the deal in Denver. He was a joke in Denver, and that was the downfall of Wilson. And then on defense coordinator, they have Jeff Ulbrich. I don't know much about him, but with Robert Saleh as defensive-minded head coach, I'm sure they're going to be bringing the pain. He's maturing to another level. With regards to the special teams, we're almost there. Special teams, a myriad of different players at both spots. Duo kicker Greg Zuerlein and punter Thomas Morstead. Intangibles, the Jets have not done a lot of winning in the recent years. And Aaron Rodgers brings the winning attitude, whether it's improving focus in practice and meetings or leading his teammates on game day. The legendary QB should help the Jets create a winning culture as long as he can stay healthy. I would say that Aaron Rodgers has to adjust to the Jets organization. It's not him leading the Jets, not anymore. He has to get on board. And if he doesn't get on board, this is it for Aaron Rodgers. I don't think they're going to wait around because, again, they got rid of Zach Wilson. They got rid of, several named players. Backup quarterback to Aaron Rodgers is Tyrod Taylor, experienced veteran, a brother for over 14 years. And then they got Jordan Travis, who they drafted, a rookie from Florida State. So this is really Aaron Rodgers do it or done. And let me just say, I was not impressed by Aaron Rodgers' interview and how he's handling himself in practice. He tries to show that he's a player's guy. He relays. He tries. Let me just say, he tries too hard to humanize himself. Humanize himself to the average player, because again, he's pompous. We know it. And yeah, he's an elite quarterback, but when you're in your 19th year and you're not an elite quarterback, particularly when I just say that he's all in for himself. We know that. Boomer Esiason correctly called him out in the interview. He asked the great questions, and you can just see on Boomer Esiason's face, he said, "Man, good luck with that. You fooling everybody else, but you're not fooling me, Aaron Rodgers." That's all. You're not fooling me, Aaron Rodgers. Even in New York, you're not fooling me, Aaron Rodgers. So I got this Jets, G-J-E-T-S. Their season starts off with on road San Francisco 49ers. Then they on road to Tennessee. Then they host New England. Then they go host Denver. Then they go to Minnesota in London. Then they host Buffalo. Then they go to Pittsburgh. Then they go to New England. Then they host Houston. Then they go to Arizona. Then they go host Indianapolis. Then they have a bye. Then they host Seattle. And then they go to Miami. Dolphins fins up, baby. Fins up. Fins up. Then they go to Jacksonville. Then they host the Rams. Then they go to Buffalo. And then Dolphins come to New York MetLife Stadium on the last game. And we're going to cook. And I have the Jets record as 9-8. 9 wins, 8 losses. 9 wins, 8 losses. And let me just say, give a salute. See you, Aaron Rodgers. This is the last season that we will see Aaron Rodgers. This is 19th year. If he gets injured, I hope he doesn't get injured. I want him to last the entire season. But he's in that frail state. Because if he gets hit and pounded, Aaron Rodgers will find a way to protect his reputation somehow. And I just say 9-8. This may be the last season for Aaron Rodgers. He wants to get to that 20th season. He wants that on his career. 20 seasons as an NFL quarterback. He wasn't a starting quarterback for several years behind Brett Favre. But he wants that. I think he wants that 20-year mantra playing NFL quarterback. But what I've heard and what I've seen in practice, they're going to be bringing the pain on Aaron Rodgers to see how mobile he really is and see how crafty he really is. And watch out if he starts jawing with the players. Now, see, here's what's not spoken about. The age difference does matter. The age difference does matter. Because Aaron Rodgers is in his 19th season, and many of these players on his team, they're just 2 to 3 years in the league. So Aaron Rodgers has over 16 years on them. Many of them just don't relate to Aaron Rodgers. They seen Aaron Rodgers as kids. As kids. Think about it. They just don't relate. And I go back to that Garrett Wilson, Aaron Rodgers lively discussion during practice. To me, it shows something. It shows me a generational difference. It showed me that, these players now, they like, I got to get my game on. Who's Aaron Rodgers? I'm the man. He's not the man. I'm the man. That's what I'm kind of sensing from the Jets players. They'll say the right thing, but you look at the tape. You look at practice. And I can tell you, as a former player, we let things go in practice. There's no show. You can't be protected in practice. Guys show their emotion. They tell it like it is in practice. And then when the practice is over and they got to meet the media, yeah, they're going to try to say the right thing. Because it's the New York media. It's a media everywhere. But in practice, everything goes. And that's what I saw during training camp and practice. So they got to get on the same page. Aaron Rodgers got to get up to speed. He's playing catch up. Yeah, Garrett Wilson, he's the veteran on the team, not Aaron Rodgers. I'm telling you, when things start to go south, you're going to see stuff blowing up. And, oh my gosh, let me take a thing. Oh my gosh. Excuse me. Things going to be blowing up. And Robert Saleh, he's going to have to step up and control the situation. So I see the New York Jets, J-E-T-S-S-S. Fireman Joe. Who is that? Fireman Joe of the Jets. Always at the game. Always. Okay, so I'm not a big fan of Aaron Rodgers. Y'all know this. He will always be a puppet master in my eyes. But the puppet master days are over. This is the Beetle. I'm calling it like it is. I'm calling him out. What can I say? I'm tired of league protecting Aaron Rodgers. Sorry about that. Oh, and I feel your pain, New York Jets fans. You're so loyal. But I got to give it up to, again, Boomer Esiason and Boomer in the Geo show for cutting through the chase. Thank you. Now let's root on the Jets to finish 9-8. This is the Beetle. This is Football 101. I'm just calling it like it is. 2024 season, and that's where the New York Jets season will go.